What's a good way to turn the insights you shared with us into action and be these protagonists of our future?
When we think about narrative power, what we're contesting against is something called cultural hegemony, which is how the dominant beliefs of the most dominant groups in our society become normalized. And that's a fancy way of saying that powerful people get to tell their stories and people without a lot of power are often silenced. So I would say one spark is for people to tell their stories of their experiences in their communities. That could be becoming an organizer, which I think is the way that change has to happen, is to be organized in our communities and unified against the people who would silence us, and to build power by knocking on doors and making calls and being in community with one another. But, to also get involved in your local government, to go to hearings if you can, or city council meetings, and to tell your story about what matters to you, what your family needs to be able to thrive, what you want your dollars to be invested in. Because in that vacuum, if we don't tell those stories, if we don't talk about our multiracial, multi-ethnic, working class communities as the center of our society in America, that vacuum will be filled by the most powerful people, and they will make policy decisions that impact our lives in devastating ways, as we've seen with climate change and wage theft and, as you mentioned, a lack of access to childcare, for example. So get involved in your local community, talk about the importance of what matters to your family, and don't be afraid to tell your story.